I used to think money was just about earning more, but it's not. It's about making better decisions again and again until your habits build your freedom. No one teaches you that. Schools don't, parents don't, and most people learn it too late when time runs out and debt takes over. These are the 7 financial decisions that completely changed my life. Not because they made me rich overnight, but because they made me unstoppable long term. Some of them were simple, some of them were painful, but all of them shifted how I see money forever. If you apply even one of these, you'll start seeing wealth differently, not as a dream, as a process. Let's start with the first one. This is momentum. Decision number 1. I stopped trading time for money. I used to believe the goal was to earn more per hour. But the truth is, if your income stops when you stop working, you're not free. You're rented. Most people never realize that a salary isn't security, it's dependency, a monthly illusion that keeps you quiet. The system teaches you to trade hours for money, then to trade that money for comfort, and then to spend your entire life protecting that comfort. That's not wealth. That's captivity. Real freedom starts the moment you stop asking, how can I earn more? And start asking, how can I earn without being there? Because the rich don't work harder. They build smarter. They create systems, assets, and skills that pay them again and again, long after the work is done. At some point, I stopped selling my time and started building things that pay me even when I sleep. That was the first decision that changed everything. Because once you stop trading time for money, you stop living like everyone else. Decision number 2. I started paying myself first. For years, I paid everyone else before I paid myself. Rent, bills, taxes, subscriptions. By the time it was my turn, there was nothing left. That's how most people live. They reward the system before they reward their future. At some point, I flipped it. Whatever I earn from a client, a sale, an investment, a fixed part goes straight to me, not to spend, to grow. Because if you don't pay yourself first, you'll always pay for your past instead of your future. Paying myself first taught me 2 things. Discipline builds faster than income, and savings without a purpose are just delayed spending. Now every dollar has a mission. Some build safety, some build freedom, but none of them are wasted. That's how wealth starts. Not with big money, but with big intent. Because the moment you start treating yourself like your own business, you stop living like an employee. Decision number 3, I turned my money into employees. For most of my life, I worked for my money. Then one day I realized it should be the other way around. Every dollar I earn is an employee. Its job is simple. Go out, work for me, and bring back more. But most people fire their dollars the second they get them. They spend them on things that make them look rich, instead of things that make them free. That's why they stay trapped. Their money never gets the chance to work. It's too busy disappearing. Once I understood that, I stopped letting cash sit. I started giving it orders. I made it work in places that never sleep: investments, skills, and systems. And the more employees I created, the less I had to show up myself. Because money that works creates freedom. Money that sleeps creates fear. That was the shift. I stopped being an employee and started being the employer. Decision number 4. I cut 90% of my impulse spending. I used to buy things just to feel something. A new shirt, a new gadget, a dinner I didn't need. It felt good for 10 minutes. Then I was right back where I started. Most people don't spend for utility. They spend for validation, for distraction, for the illusion of progress. Every impulse purchase is a small trade. You trade long-term peace for short-term dopamine, and you don't even notice the cost until it's too late. So I built a rule. If I want something, I wait 72 hours. If I still want it after that, I buy it. But 9 times out of 10, I don't. That rule alone changed everything, because every dollar I didn't waste became another dollar that could work for me. Impulse spending is how you stay poor. Discipline is how you buy freedom. Now, when I buy something, it's never to escape life. It's to improve it. Decision number 5. I stopped caring about looking rich. For years, I tried to look successful. Nice clothes, expensive dinners, the latest phone. It wasn't about what I needed. It was about what I wanted people to think. But here's the truth. The need to look rich is the fastest way to stay broke. Most people spend money they don't have, to impress people they don't like, for approval that doesn't last. I used to think those little flexes were harmless, but every look at me moment was stealing from my future freedom. Then I realized real wealth doesn't make noise. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't need applause. The richest people I've ever met don't look rich. They look calm. So I stopped buying to impress. I started buying to progress. Now I wear the same clothes, drive the same car, because right now my focus is growth, not display. One day I'll buy the things I want, but they'll be paid for by assets, not effort. And that's the difference, because looking rich is an image. Being rich is a system. And when you finally stop chasing the image, you start building the reality. Decision number 6. I learned to use debt as a tool. For most of my life, I feared debt, because that's what everyone teaches you. Debt is bad. Stay away from it. But that's only half true. Bad debt keeps you poor. Smart debt sets you free. Most people use debt to look rich. The rich use debt to get richer. When you borrow for things that lose value, you're working for the bank. When you borrow for things that grow in value, the bank is working for you. That's the difference between being a customer and being a strategist. So I stopped avoiding debt. I started studying it. I learned how to make leverage my employee instead of my master. Because the truth is simple. You'll always be in debt, either to consumption or to creation. Only one of them pays you back. Now, every time I use debt, it's with purpose. To build, to grow, to multiply. And when you understand that, you stop fearing the system and start using it. Decision number 7. I realized freedom is the only real wealth. For a long time, I thought money was the goal, the number, the lifestyle, the image. But the more I built, the more I realized money without freedom is just another form of prison. If you need to wake up to an alarm you hate, to buy things you don't need, to impress people you don't respect, you're not free, you're financed. I used to think wealth was about having more. Now I know it's about needing less. Freedom isn't about quitting everything. It's about choosing everything. Choosing when to work, who to work with, and why. Because when your time belongs to you, you've already made it. Money is just the tool. Freedom is the point. And that's the truth no one tells you. You don't chase money to get rich. You chase money to buy back your life. In the end, wealth isn't luck. It's discipline, clarity, and time. Built one decision at a time. These 7 decisions didn't just change how I use money, they changed how I live. If this video hits you, watch this video about the differences between rich and poor mindsets. It's the perfect next step. Drop a comment, hit like, and subscribe if you're ready to take control of your own freedom. Thanks for watching Momentum. And remember, be better than yesterday.